We live in an era where we can instantly speak to anyone on Earth. Yet, despite this constant digital tether, millions sit in silence, isolated. We are drowning in notifications, updates, and messages, but starving for genuine human presence. This points to a friction between our high-speed digital tools and our slower, organic social instincts. While our technology has evolved at an exponential rate in just a few decades, our underlying biological hardware for connection has remained largely unchanged for millennia. Think of the ancient story of Babel. It is usually read as a historical myth about the scattering of languages. But look around. Babel is a psychological reality we live in every single day. It is the deafening, fragmented noise of the modern internet, where everyone is talking, everything demands attention, and nobody is actually listening. This is the premise behind Lingua Cordis, an artistic exploration to cut through this modern noise and locate a deeply human signal we have lost. To understand how we became so isolated while being so connected, we need to trace our emotional timeline backward. We have to return to the quiet moments before the noise began. Long before the first cities were built, humanity experienced an awakening. We looked up at the sky and felt a shared sense of wonder at something much larger than ourselves. The discovery of fire illuminated the faces of those sitting across from us. It pushed back the dark enough for us to truly look at each other, read expressions, and pay attention to a neighbor's fear or comfort. This shared presence became the foundation of community. By tending the same flame and relying on each other for survival, early humans learned the mechanics of walking together. In these early days, the ability to feel connected did not require complex grammar. Empathy, shared survival, and emotional recognition happened long before we ever invented a structured spoken language. But as our tools improved, our ambitions scaled upward. We started constructing massive towers to reach the sky. Our physical capabilities and networks rapidly accelerated. As these physical structures expanded, an unintended separation took hold. We built dense civilizations, yet quietly erected invisible emotional walls between individuals. We became surrounded by people, but isolated in our own experience. This diagram illustrates a basic concept in psychoacoustics, the study of how we perceive sound, to explain how language contributes to this division. When you hear a language you know, your brain's left hemisphere activates almost immediately. It immediately begins a rapid, noisy process of analyzing the grammar, categorizing words, and searching for hidden intentions or threats in the speech. Your mind is instantly evaluating and judging the signal. This means that rational language, which evolved as a tool to bridge the gap between early humans, often does the opposite today. In a hyper-connected society, language easily becomes a mechanism for division, polarization, and overwhelming cognitive noise. The creators of Lingua Cordis realized that you cannot fight noise with more noise. To bypass the hyper-analytical brain, you have to completely strip away known language. The project introduces a deeply unfamiliar, ancestral indigenous chant, accompanied by a single, vulnerable question whispered by a child. Do you still hear me? Because this ancestral sound lacks a familiar grammar to dismantle, the brain's analytical engine has nothing to grip. When the mind can no longer categorize the audio wave, the constant loop of semantic processing breaks, allowing a slower, sensory experience to take over. It is only when that analytical engine finally powers down that we regain our capacity for genuine, unburdened listening. The response to that child's question is simple. Yes, I am listening. That quiet acknowledgement marks the moment of true emotional reconnection. This is the essence of Lingua Cordis. It does not ask us to invent a new, rational language for everyone to speak. It asks us to rediscover a universal emotional recognition that already exists underneath the words. The goal is not to abandon our progress or discard our tools. We need our technology, but we also need the emotional maturity required to manage these advanced tools without losing ourselves in them. We are returning to a simple biological reality. The heart spoke long before the voice was ever formed. To survive the modern Babel, humanity doesn't need the exact same language. We simply need to relearn how to pause, breathe, and feel together.